Guys, we've got a quote here from Inspector Gall that if man does not learn their lesson, they will be taught in fire and blood and anguish. Now, Inspector Gall delivers this line as part of his speech before he leaves, and really it is Priestley's own voice, his own message to the audience that he wants this play to impart. Now, there's some brilliant language to zoom in on here. Firstly, as I've hinted at, this isn't the tone of a police inspector, but this has the tone of a priest or a politician. It's clear that Inspector Gall wants to teach a lesson rather than convict someone for a crime. And as I've already said, this isn't really just Inspector Gall speaking, but it's Priestley himself giving his clear message to the audience of what they want to get out of this play. Secondly, we can see the word fire at the first of his list of things that man will be punished with. This perhaps is an allusion to hell, that if man isn't punished in his own lifetime, he will be punished in the afterlife when he ascends to heaven, or more likely, descends to hell. Secondly, we've got the allusion to perhaps the two world wars with the word blood. There's lots of information and lots of different things that we can think about here, and there's more of that in the context box at the bottom. But just think that this play was written at the end of World War II and set 2 years before the start of World War I, where millions of people have died in both of those two world wars. Or perhaps, given that the play was first shown in Russia, an allusion to the Russian Revolution and the bloody civil war that came after it, where the workers overthrew the Tsar of Russia due to his unequal treatment of the people. Another nice bit of language we've got here is the polysyndeton, and this is the repetition of and within a sentence. Normally you wouldn't put and more than once within a sentence, it seems a bit odd, but here Priestley does it to emphasise the fire, the blood and the anguish and the amount of different ways that mankind can and will be punished. Finally, we've got the word anguish, and this is a severe mental pain, a mental torture, perhaps signifying the pain of those who are suffering the loss of a loved one during the war, or perhaps it links to the anguish that the Burlings are about to feel once the inspector leaves. And just before I finish up this little quote, I'll leave those stage directions just on the screen there and you can take some notes, because we see Sheila is quietly crying. Mrs. Burling collapsed into a chair. Eric is brooding, that means quietly angry, brooding desperately. And while Mr. Burling looks gloomily and then pours himself another drink. A fantastic quote for you guys to analyse and use within answers.